There were times where I would be taking a bath. In my head, I would just get these really scary thoughts that was kind of just like, stick your head like under the faucet.
Really?
I would go under the water for like as long as I could. And then once I was really like desperate for air, I would like tell myself, I'd be like, stay there like a little bit longer, like keep going. And I would stay there until literally I was like on the verge of like passing out, or like, I don't know, like I would panic so bad and I would like sit up from the water, I'd gasp like for air and like cough up water and stuff because I was like breathing in the water, and I would just sit there and I was like mortified by myself. I was just like, why did I do that? Why did I feel the need to do that? Why did I think about doing that? Why did I actually do it? I was so afraid of myself.
I never know how to stand. Okay.
I know. I was literally saying that. I was like, do I put my arms up?
It's because back then,
because my shoulders, I'm like.
She's an entrepreneur, content creator, and a badass. My guest, Stephanie Diaz.
Hey guys.
How you been, Steph?
I've been doing okay.
You doing good?
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one. I feel like I've seen your journey, since you kind of started trying to find yourself and doing different things. And I know a little bit of your story.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to dive in and see who you really are.
That's really tender.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Where are you from, Steph?
I'm from Utah.
Utah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were you born here?
Yeah. My mom and my biological dad, they're both from Brazil. But my stepdad, he's from Utah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Brazil, have you gone back?
Yeah. I used to live there when I was like 17.
Oh, really?
Not for a long time. It was just like for a summer, but it was awesome and I loved it.
What's your favorite part of Brazil?
My family.
Yeah.
The community. It's so great there. Like, I feel like I never feel more loved than when I'm in Brazil. I feel like I'm at home there. Yeah. And I think that's why I loved it so much. And I wanted to go back when I was 17. Because like, I literally just went to my mom and I was like, I want to live in Brazil. Just like randomly. And she was like, okay. And so I just went and I lived there. And don't get me wrong, like it was kind of lonely because I was there by myself. And I wasn't with like my family or anything like that. But I loved it. Like even before because I hadn't met Vale yet when I lived there. And so when I moved there, I came back, I finished high school. And like, even when I went back to Utah, I was like, I'm going to go back there. Ooh. And I thought I was just going to live there for the rest of my life.
Dang.
Yeah. But then I met Vale.
Okay.
So,
God damn it, Vale.
Yeah, I know.
No, but so how was Steph as a kid?
I was weird.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like I was super like a crazy kid, but also like super quiet. Like I feel like I was like the funny kid. Like I always made people laugh.
Class clown?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Well, not really class clown. Like not when it came to like high school and stuff or like middle school, but like kid stuff. Like when I was like little, I was like weird. But I also was just like, I don't know. I was super quiet and just super like emotional, but also super loud at the same time. I don't know how to explain it.
That's pretty hard. You said that you had a stepdad.
Yeah.
And you had a actual dad. How do you say that? How do you call that?
My biological dad?
Yeah, with the actual dad.
No, yeah.
So you had a stepdad and you had a biological dad.
Yeah.
How was that?
Honestly, my stepdad, I don't consider him my stepdad.
Really?
He's my dad. Yeah.
Wow.
He's been in my life like the majority of my life. He raised me. He's my dad. My biological dad is just the sperm donor.
Damn.
He like, I mean, I remember him and I remember him being a part of my life and that kind of stuff. But my stepdad, he's my dad.
That's so cool. Yeah. I feel like it's amazing when somebody can step in and just make you feel so safe.
For sure. And have you met my dad?
No, I haven't.
Okay, no, yeah. Anybody who meets my dad, he is the best. He's so tender. He's so nurturing. He's so kind. He's literally the best guy in the world.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever talk to your biological dad or?
It's been like off and on. Like he's kind of like popped in like here and there in my life. I think like the last time that I talked to him was like over a year ago. So like honestly it wasn't really that long ago, but he's just kind of a weird guy. He just kind of pops in when he wants to. And then is kind of just like, oh, I love you so much. You're my daughter, blah, blah, blah. But then like kind of will just like disappear.
It's like forcefully, like I'll just give my 2 cents and then I'm done.
It's super weird. Like he'll like message me on like my birthday and he'll be like, God's greatest gift was you and the best thing that ever happened to me and whatever. And I'm like, okay, then why'd you leave?
It's tough because sometimes I feel like they're going through the worst time. They just can't let it out because our like people, because Brazilians are kind of Hispanics, you know, they're kind of Latinos, and we don't show emotion. We could be going through the worst thing ever, but we don't show it. We don't connect. We don't let it out.
It's almost like frowned upon.
Yeah, it is, right?
Like, why? I don't get it.
Dude. It's weird. It shouldn't be like super emotional, but at least, hey, this is what I feel. And most of the times, dude, I do believe that they don't get in contact just because they're hurting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he just kind of like pops up randomly. The last time he popped up was actually because I was like asking my mom some questions like about my dad. And then randomly the next day I got like an Instagram request from him and I was like, what the? I was like, this is freaky. I was literally just talking about this guy. That's so weird. And then I like texted my mom and I was like, bro, you're never going to guess. Who just sent me a friend request. And she was like, oh. Because I did that. Like I messaged him and I told him that you were, and she was like, well, you had questions and who better to answer than your dad. And so I was like, oh. So he like sent me a friend request and then I like accepted it. And then he was like, oh, this is the best day of my life. Like, thank you so much. Like, whatever. And like he had like friended me and my sister on Facebook and he would like message us like every once in a while there. Sometimes he'd like email my sister, but it was like very, very rare that we ever like heard from my dad. And then like when it was, it kind of was, it was like back in the day, like, no, but like, you know, like when I was a kid, you know, I didn't have Instagram or like, you know, he kind of just like popped up when he wanted to and then just kind of like left when he wanted to. And then like I'd message him again and just be like, hey, how are you doing? And then I just like wouldn't hear anything. So like it kind of sucked because every time he would like message me, I'd kind of be like, oh, maybe he's changed, you know, like maybe everything he's saying is true, you know, because every single time his line was, I'm a changed man. Like I've done my rights from wrongs. Like, you know, like I'm a better man. I'm a better person. I want to be a better person. Like I'm a man of God and like whatever and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? Like, and I personally believe that like people can change. I really do. Like I've seen it happen. So like, I know. And so like sometimes he'll message me and I'll just be like, you know what? Like maybe, you know? So then I'll like message him back and like, I'll keep it very like surface level. You know, I won't be anything like too deep or whatever, but he's just kind of the same guy he always was and always will be, I think. Like he just lies a lot and he's not a very honest person. And honestly, when we would talk about like surface level stuff, like how's your day? What'd you do? Like he was kind of cool.
It's just when things get uncomfortable.
But then like when things got like deep and stuff, he would say something about like something that happened with like my mom or something, and then like it would be a different story than like what my mom told me. And so then I'd be like, wait, but my mom told me this, and he was like, well, I understand that you'd believe your mom because you grew up with your mom and whatever, so like you probably trust her more than me, but like I'm being truthful and whatever. And I'm just like, why would I believe you? Like I just don't like, and maybe, you know what, maybe he is telling the truth, but like my mom has never ever painted him as like a bad guy. Even though she totally could have. He said some really shitty stuff. Like she has never once been like, he sucks, like he's the worst, like I wish the worst upon him. Like she's never said that. She's never, like she always tells me, she's like, yeah, I hope he's good, like I hope he gets what he wants out of life. She's like, I don't hate him, I don't.
She truly moved on.
Yeah. And like she's just really like classy about it, and she's really just like elegant about it. So he would just like message me, and then like I would get kind of comfortable with like the surface level stuff, and I'd be like, hey, how's your day? And then he would just like disappear out of nowhere. So it's like I feel like once he kind of like had me, then he was kind of just like, okay, just to kind of feel like he still had me on like a hook to like know that like I'd still come back or whatever. And so yeah, he just like comes and goes when he wants. And
do you ever yearn to have a really deep conversation with them and just open up, like just be like, Dad, you really hurt me, or Dad, this is what I want from you?
I used to.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't think I do anymore because I don't think I could ever get that from him. Like I don't think he's like capable. I think he's just, honestly, I think he's a really sad person. And I think he's honestly kind of living a sad life. And I think he does regret some of the things that like he's done and stuff. And I think he lives with that every day. And I think it like eats at him. And so I think like, I don't think he's a bad person. I don't. But I also don't think that there's like any chance of like, I don't know if like reconciliation is the right word, but like I truthfully don't want a deep conversation, I don't feel like I need that from him anymore. No. Because he's not a truthful person. He's not honest. Yeah. So I think like even I've tried in the past, it's like talking to a brick wall. Oh, you know, it's like I could say, hard, yeah. Dude. And so I feel like I could say like, yeah, you know, what you did really hurt me and I'm sad by that. And he'd be like, I'm so sorry. I love you. And I'm like, okay, but do you?
Yeah.
And honestly, he probably does love me. I don't doubt that he doesn't love me, but like
the action is not there.
Yeah. But it's sometimes like, it's not enough.
You need actions. I feel like actions are so much better than words.
Yeah.
Like in any situation, you need it.
Yeah. And like, even if he didn't, because I mean, he's in Brazil, so it's like, what more can you do? Yeah. But it's like, I remember he would tell me that he'd be like, oh yeah, like we can like video chat more often and like, I'll teach you more Portuguese and like all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I love that. But like, what happened? You know, like literally, like I never ever saw that happening ever again.
Do you know his background? Do you know what he went through?
Honestly, I don't know a lot about my dad other than like what I've heard from like other people. Because like when I met him, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like all I remember was him like being the dad version of my dad, you know? Yeah. But like I remember Lauda. I've only heard things from like what she's told me, what her mom's told me, what my mom has told me.
Yeah. That's hard because you're like trying to make this puzzle without those pieces.
Yeah. And I think that's like what I was longing for. Like in the beginning, I was like, I want my own opinion of this man. I was like, I don't want what everyone else is like feeding me. I was like, I want to make up what I think of this guy and like find it out for myself. And I feel like that's what I did. Like, I don't hate him. I don't think he's a bad guy. He's just a person to me. Like, he's not my dad. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just him.
How did that affect you later on in life? Because I know you've been through a lot. Yeah. And right now I want to move on into the you know, the next chapter of your life. Yeah. You know, you went through a crazy time, dude.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
It's crazy to look back on.
Yeah.
like I don't know.
It's beautiful, right? You feel like it's like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's also like, I don't know. To me, it's a little disheartening. Just because it's like, I don't know. I don't wish that feeling upon anybody. Yeah. I think like being in a dark place the way that I was, it's like, it's a feeling that you can't unlearn. It's like once you know something, you can't unknow it.
Yeah.
And so thinking about it sometimes just like makes me sad. Like knowing that I felt like that, or like if I like hear people talking about it or like seeing stuff online, like relating to that, it just feels kind of sad to me.
Trigger something.
Yeah, but it is also a beautiful thing. I think I saw this video on TikTok. I think it was like Lily Reinhart. She was talking about like the human experience and kind of seeing it from the point of view. She's like feeling all the emotions that you could possibly feel, pain, love, all those things. Like it's beautiful that we're able to experience all those emotions and feel those emotions. Like it's a beautiful thing, but pain is painful.
It's funny, dude, because I believe pain lasts almost as long as happiness lasts.
To me, pain feels so much longer.
Really?
Yeah. Pain feels like a lifetime.
Well, that's because I don't think we believe in pain. We don't think it could happen to us.
Yeah, that's true.
We believe...
You don't think it's going to happen to you until it does.
Yes. Yeah. And happiness, we always yearning it, that it goes like this when you get it.
Yeah.
You know, and pain is like, whoa, what is this? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure, yeah.
So how did that dark place start?
I think it really started when I started my nail business. I really, really wanted it. Like I really wanted to have my own nail business. I really wanted to do nails. I really thought that that was something I really wanted. And at the time, I don't think it was what I thought I wanted. At the time, I really did want it. And I worked really hard for it. Like I was working a 9-to-5 job and going to school full time. So I was going to school from like 9 a.m. to like 1:30 in the afternoon. And then I was working from like 1:30 in the afternoon to like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it doesn't sound like a long time, but to me, it felt like a lifetime. And I was like working a corporate office job and trying to do nails at the same time. And so like eventually when I stopped and I started doing nails full time, I just kind of bit off a lot more than I could chew. And so I just started taking tons of clients and just not really taking care of myself.
It's the rat race. You know, if I can get one more dollar,
if
I can just get one more client.
And it like, I was talking to Vale about this, but made me so sad because like there were times where I literally was like, okay, if I just like skipped out on lunch and just like took this one client, like I could maybe like solidify this client, and then I could just sacrifice this one lunch, but then like one lunch turned into like breakfast and lunch, and then breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I just like wasn't eating at all. So it just like I was sacrificing so much of me to like cater to other people. I mean, I had the dedication and I really wanted it, but like I just did it in a really poor way.
Do you think you're a people's pleaser?
Yeah. And that's something I'm trying to like get over. I actually am listening to this podcast that's like how to like not be a people pleaser anymore.
Because it's good to be good to other people.
Yeah.
But there's a line when it's like, whoa, I'm no longer being good to myself.
Yeah.
So you got what you wanted. You were working really hard and now you were stuck. Right? And that's the gift and a curse, right? When you're stuck, it's like, oh, damn, I actually didn't want to do this. Because before you started that business and you were finally doing it, did you believe that was going to make you happy?
Yeah. I thought that like it was going to give me everything I wanted.
Yeah.
Like truthfully. And even then it gave me what I thought I wanted, all the materialistic things. Like I was able to buy my own designer shoes, you know, a Tesla, like my dream car. Like I was really able to like provide for myself and give myself a lot of the things that I thought would make me happy. But like literally at the end of the day, I bought the car, but then what? Yeah. Like still gotta go to work the next day. Like, like it just like, it really opened my eyes because I'm not proud of it now, but I was a little bit of a materialistic person.
Oh, I feel like we all are at some point.
Yeah. Like I was just like, okay, well, if I can get the car, if I can get the designer shoes, if I can get the designer purses, if I can get all the things that I want, then I'll be happy.
I'll get validation.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my value came from these like expensive things, which like now sounds so crazy to me.
Dumb.
It sounds so stupid. And like when I wanted something, I was like fixated on it. Like when I saw these like designer shoes, I was like, I need to get those shoes. I want those shoes. And nothing could stop me from getting those shoes because once I got those shoes, then I'd be okay. Then I'd be happy. Yeah. But then I'd get the shoes and I'd still be right where I was.
Yeah, now you want like, something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like it never stops.
You went through depression, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I never believed in, ever.
Really?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I didn't know what that was. I was so focused on something that when I obtained it, boom. It was kind of like, whoa, now I get to be realistic. It's like, oh no, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not so focused and I fell into binge eating like crazy.
Really?
You know, I got injured because of that. And that's where my depression started. And it was just downhill from that. How did you deal with depression?
Honestly, I don't think I did. I dealt with it with avoidance. I was really in denial about a lot of things and I avoided everything. I avoided literally anything and anything that I didn't want to do, didn't want to talk about, anything that made me uncomfortable. That's something that I'm really learning right now is like being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a superpower, dude.
No, because I will run away at the first thing that makes me uncomfortable. I can't handle it. I can't face it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm a little better at it now, but at the time, I think I dealt with it by starving myself. I stopped eating, stopped
just
taking care of myself. Yeah. I stopped feeding myself because I wanted a little bit of control. And that's something I felt like I didn't have. I felt like my life wasn't mine.
Oh, scary, dude.
Yeah, it's horrifying. I think the one thing that got me out of my depression was because it scared me so bad. I was so scared of myself, like so scared of myself. Like there were times where I would be taking a bath. In my head, I would just get these really scary thoughts that was kind of just like stick your head like under the faucet.
Really?
I would go under the water for like as long as I could. And then once I was really like desperate for air, I would like tell myself, I'd be like, stay there like a little bit longer, like keep going. And I would stay there until literally I was like on the verge of like passing out or like, I don't know, like I would panic so bad and I would like sit up from the water. I'd gasp like for air and like cough up water and stuff because I was like breathing in the water. And I would just sit there and I was like mortified by myself. I was like, why did I do that? Why did I
so ashamed?
Well, not even ashamed. I was just like scared that I did that.
Wow.
I was just like, why did I do that? Why did I feel the need to do that? Why did I think about doing that? Why did I actually do it? I was so afraid of myself.
Confused.
I was so afraid of like the thoughts that I was having because like at that point, every thought that I had was like suicidal. It's like nothing could happen to me where I wasn't like thinking about dying.
Yeah. Depression is funny because it's not that you're depressed, it's you don't understand what's going on. Because if you was to go back, Stephanie, back in time to that time, with what you know now, would you go through the same thing?
Maybe.
You think so?
Maybe.
With the knowledge that you have now?
I think that depression is so complex. I would hope that like knowing what I know now, I could use the skills that I know now to like kind of pull me out a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And maybe like not let myself get so stuck. I guess maybe I'd have better coping mechanisms.
If I was to go back in time, I would run laps around my old me.
Really?
Like, bro, like I...
Maybe you're just like more far along than I am.
That's what I mean.
Maybe I'm not there yet.
I'm just further in the process.
Maybe I'm not there yet.
No, I get you, dude. Because it took me, dude, for real, I think it took me about 8 years for me to really be okay again. It's that understanding that I now have. Everything that I go to, instead of getting so scared and confused, I just do whatever it takes to understand the situation. Yeah. Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? But I need to understand the situation because depression not getting me again.
I think that's one thing that I understand now.
Yeah.
Is that like I will never let myself ever get there again.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like I know that I never ever ever want to feel like that ever again. If I were to give any advice about anything, be curious.
Question everything.
Yeah, like if you're having like an intrusive thought or something, you'd be like, okay, is this coming from me?
Yeah.
Like kind of just like, okay, where am I? Who am I with? Like what's surrounding me? As we were driving here, I was telling Vale, I was just like, he was blasting the music like so loud. And I was just feeling like super anxious like before coming here and stuff. And I turned down the music and I was just like, why?
Yeah.
Is it because it's loud? Is it because it's like very upbeat and I'm feeling calm? Like I want to be calm.
Yeah.
Like just be curious. Because you can be, like, there are so many times that I would tell Vale, I'd be like, oh, I have so much anxiety. And he'd be like, why? And I'd be like, I don't know. I just am. Yeah. But like, there are reasons as to why you're feeling anxious. And you know what? There might be times that you're just feeling anxious to feel anxious. Like that might just be true. But like, I am learning to like be so much more curious about myself. Like I ask myself everything. Be curious.
Be curious.
Be curious.
Like you said, you just got to find out more of yourself. Because if the soul doesn't know how to teach the mind will never tell the body. There has to be a middleman. The mind is the middleman. That's why when we're young, we know things are bad. We know we're going through something, but what's going on? Because our soul knows what it's supposed to go through and knows what it's going through, but our mind doesn't know how to translate it to the body. That's why we feel anxious and that's why we feel depressed. But when we grow older and we start understanding things, we're like, oh, the soul knows. Not the mind, the soul knows. We give permission to the soul to teach our mind in order for us to teach our body. And that's when real control comes along. When you get up and go exercise. When you get up and say, sorry, I didn't mean that. When you get up and make amends with somebody. That's when it really makes sense and it all just clicks.
Yeah. I feel like I'm still like trying to like go through it and like figure out all that like I think and like all that stuff. I do think that like your body remembers things that like you don't.
Yeah, dude.
Like that you probably don't even remember and things like that. I feel like I'm just still trying to navigate everything and just like, because I feel like you have such like a clear vision of like what you believe, like what your values are. Like I feel like you know who you are.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like you seem like you have so much like clarity on that. And I feel like I enjoy talking to you because I feel like it gets me curious, you know, because I'm like, oh, you think that? Like, tell me why, you know? And I hope it's not coming off in like a
no.
I hope it's like me being true. Like open and curious.
No, it's 100% true, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's been like maybe 5 months when I figure it out. And don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of things I haven't been through yet. Like I'm not a dad yet.
No, yeah.
That's like, what the fuck is gonna be that, you know?
Yeah.
But 5 months ago, I figured it out and I was like, oh shit, this is who I am right now. Go all out. because it feels so good. It's like, oh, this is what I want. Everything is like making sense and everything is going one way. But like, again, like I said, I'm gonna have a kid and be like, shit, start all over again.
Yeah. Like I feel like I'm in that space of trying to figure out like, what am I gravitating towards? What's like resonating with me? What do I feel is true? Or what do I believe? Like what are my values type of thing? Like just trying to figure out like, what is it that I am gravitating towards in this moment? Who am I growing into becoming? Who am I going to be? Like, what am I learning now that I'm going to gravitate towards and take with me like 5 months from now? You know what I'm saying? When I'm where you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know like one thing that's been comforting to me now and that I'm learning is that like people are always evolving.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to be changing all the time. But I feel like it feels like sucky, I guess, because I feel like I've been through like 5 changes in like 1 year. I'm like, okay, how many people can I be? Like, I don't know. So I feel like I've lived like 9 lives. So I feel like everything that I'm pulling from, childhood that I'm like not really like resonating with anymore. Like, I grew up really religious and like, I don't know if I really feel like that anymore.
Well, that's when I think relationships mess up. When you stop learning about the new version of your partner.
Yeah.
I've told my girl, like a year from now, we're going to touch bases. Who are you now? What are your beliefs? What are your wants? What are your goals? And who do you think you are? And then that next year, we're going to touch bases again. Who are you? What do you believe? And see if things make sense. It's happened to me before when you go 3 years thinking that's the same person. And they're not.
No, yeah. And that's so true because like me and Vale, we got married so young.
Yeah, dude.
We were literally 20 years old and we're 23 now. Like we are not the same people that we like who we were when we got married. But like that's where I also feel so privileged and so fortunate because like Vale has loved me through every single stage. I feel like I've lived 9 lives. He's been there for all 9.
Shout out to Vale, man.
Literally. Love you, boo. Like he has been there like through every single period and he is growing with me. I feel like we are growing so perfectly because I feel like we are evolving so greatly, especially like now in this stage that I'm in where I'm trying to, heal and grow and learn a bunch of new things. I'm trying to pick from different sides. Like, what do I believe? Because right now I don't know. Yeah. But like, I know that like he is maybe in a better boat than I am, but like we're growing together and like it's beautiful to me. That's like the one thing that I just feel so grateful.
Dang.
Yeah, I picked a good one.
No,
I did.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. It's been a great time, Steph.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This is a great episode.
Yeah, sorry. I talk a lot.
I love it, dude. What do you tell the people? Where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at I'm Steph Diaz.
Hey, any new things coming up? Projects?
I started a series where I was learning how to be my own best friend. I started that a while ago, but then I stopped because
you became your best friend.
No, because I just don't know if I was ready for it yet. Okay. So I started doing all these, and don't get me wrong, like it was great. I learned a lot. But I kind of stopped because I don't know. I just didn't really feel ready for that yet. But I did feel like I'm finally ready to pick it up back again. So stay tuned for that. If you want to learn how to be your own best friend, we can do it together.
Let's get it. But yeah, dude. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for being here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with us right now. With Steph and your host, Maikon. Love you guys. Go to sleep early and stay alive.
Stay alive?
Peace out.
You say weird stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's life thing, you know?
Stay alive? What if people try to stay alive? Like, you can't control that.
Just stay alive. You have to stay alive.
Okay,
that's number 1 rule.
Do you think that, like, if it was like a survival of the fittest, you think you'd be like the fittest?
Oh, 100%.
Like, do you think if you were like a pioneer? Yeah. You would 100%. Like make it to Utah?
Yes, 100%. It's because my mind, I need to.
But what if you were who you were back in the day?
Oh, then I don't know. Right now, yes. Not back in the days. Well, maybe actually, yeah. Because I crossed 3 countries to get here. So
okay, period.
Yes, sir.
Which ones?
Guatemala, Mexico, and the U.S.
Wait, where are you from?
El Salvador.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Is your family from El Salvador too?
Yeah. We're all born there. So
You were born there too?
All of us.
Where is your girlfriend from?
Colombia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, it's been a great time.
Yeah.
This is gonna be in the credits.
Wait, okay. Do you post the whole episode?
No.
Okay, you just cut it, right?
Yeah, but I will leave this and then it'll be in the post credit when it just keeps going and I'm gonna just dim it out.
No, okay. Don't post. Okay, wait. Can you send me the clips before you post it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Don't make me look weird, okay?
Why would I make you look
I don't know.
weird?
Sometimes I just feel like I talk and then like I hear it back and I'm like,
No. I make sure it looks cool somehow, so people like it, you know.
So sometimes I'm just like, okay, that was weird. I don't know why I said that.
No, we're good.
Especially when I'm like nervy. I just kind of talk and I'm like,
No, I got you, but that was good.